One, and American Cruise Lines has created a new riverboat that will cruise the Mississippi River, and the Quad Cities has been chosen as a stopping place for the cruise. Today it will make its first stop here in the QC at River Heritage Park, that's in Davenport. The ship will hold 175 guests, and the rooms have private balconies, and organizers say that they use glass in such a way on this ship to give beautiful views throughout the entire ship. Right now, American Cruise Lines is advertising an 8-day cruise with 8 stops for $5,100. And joining us to talk about the economic impact is Dave Harrell, President and CEO of Visit Quad Cities. And Dave, I know it's early, so thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning.
Well, good morning. It's great to be with you.
Well, we had another cruise line that recently added Quad Cities to their lineup, and now we have American Cruise Lines adding the QC as well to its lineup. So talk about the conversations that have taken place that make the Quad Cities the place to be, so to speak, for these river cruises.
Well, I think first and foremost, it's important to note that American Cruise Lines has had a long-standing relationship with the Quad Cities, and we're proud of that relationship. And today marks another wonderful opportunity for our region and our destination as we welcome the Symphony for the first time. So this is a new ship designed by ACL, making its maiden voyage. And today those guests will disembark in River Heritage Park and get to experience all the wonderful things that we've got to offer in the Quad Cities. So the great thing is I think you're seeing a lot of activation happening in our community as it relates to our river cruise industry. And that's something that's great for tourism. It's great for our attractions. It's wonderful for our story and our brand. So another great morning ahead.
So what about the economic impact? Are there any estimates out there about how much money the cruise industry is expected to bring the Quad Cities?
I think for us, like right now, our emphasis is on delivering these curated, authentic experiences. I think at the end of the season, we'll do kind of a full-scale analysis, but definitely an impact. So you're seeing these guests, some of them are going to take part of these wonderful excursions that have been designed by ACL and our team. They're going to get out in the community. Folks will have a chance to support small business and get emotionally connected to what we've got to offer in the Quad Cities. So it is a multi-million-dollar economic impact. I think the only nuance is, guests aren't necessarily staying overnight because they're staying on these wonderful, vessels. But I think it's our job to figure out what we can do to make sure that the experience is a phenomenal one, so that we can convert those people to repeat visitors. So that's a little bit of our emphasis. So when they're here in the Quad Cities and they're connecting to all of our destination assets, if they have a wonderful experience, I think that's going to set us up for future visits. So it's a broad ranging spectrum of economic benefits and value, as well as just kind of activating our community and getting people in the Quad Cities. The more times that we can get people here, the better positioned we're going to be from a visitation standpoint. So that's really the goal.
And you talked about the supporting the small businesses and knowing that the ship is docking in Davenport. How is Visit Quad Cities making sure that our Illinois side of the Quad Cities is also seeing some love?
Well, yeah, I mean, we are a regional economy. We are a regional destination. So everything that Visit Quad Cities does is within that framework and that perspective. So as those guests are here, I mean, a lot of the planning is done months and months in advance to develop these experiences for our partners at ACL. So we sit down and work with them to create these excursions. Obviously, we promote assets on both sides of the river. And that's really the activation that you see. I think we're so blessed to be a bi-state destination. I think that gives us competitive advantage, quite frankly, in the tourism space. And so when those guests, when those customers, and hopefully future residents are here, it's fun to actually take them on both sides of the Mississippi River and let them explore and give them a feel for what we have to offer. So we've got step-on guides that are helping, frame the story of the Quad Cities. And then when they get off the tour buses and get in to these attractions, that deliverable from our partners is something that we've been planning and working toward very hard through programs like our Certified Tourism Ambassador program, our Step-On guides that are part of the team to deliver this customer service. And we know it's going to pay dividends. So it's exciting to activate our river as much as we can. It is our global asset. We're going to have more than 50 stops this year. And it's also, a lot of people don't realize this. The season will go all the way until early November. So you're going to see a lot of people embracing those fall colors that we're known for, and really the majesty of the Mississippi and all the things that we love about the Quad Cities.
All right, Dave Harrell with Visit Quad Cities. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. And as he had mentioned, there will be almost 50 stops right here in the Quad Cities from National Cruise Lines. And this year, those will take a break sometime in November. And still ahead, how a local museum is teaching people of all ages the importance of energy with the help of Legos.
You're watching Good Morning Quad Cities on WQAD News 8.